welcome to today's Value Talk. And yeah, today's guest is Colonel Saurabh Agrawal, Sena Medal, retired. And I'm telling you, the talk is important from because of many reasons. One, that it is about cybersecurity, and it is going to be cybersecurity. जो है बहुत ही in demand line है, which is very much cybersecurity professionals are in demand, and they are going to be in demand for next decade and maybe more. And secondly, Saurabh Agrawal is an entrepreneur. In spite of having all the qualifications which could have got him a good job, he went the path less traveled by, and I'm telling you that is making all the difference. And so, before we go ahead, Saurabh, are you there?
I'm there, sir.
Yeah, can you magically appear out of your cybersecurity box?
Yeah, I'm here. Sir.
Right. Good to see you, Saurabh. And
Thank you,
you're looking as handsome as ever.
Thank you, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today guest is Colonel Saurabh Agrawal, Sena Medal, and he is a signal officer. I had the privilege of meeting Saurabh, around a month back, Saurabh?
Yes, sir. About a month back, sir.
About a month back, and he was gracious enough to host me at his house in Chandigarh, and his vision was amazing. What I found him to be a strategist with deep insight into business, and he has a very fair idea about what is happening in the market, what's market development, market trends, and being a postgraduate from IIT Madras in computer science with more than 20 years experience, I'm telling you that he's suitably armed to choose the profession he has chosen. And he chose to be an entrepreneur, and he is in fact, in the environment, he's better known for his Arman app, which was his brainchild. And otherwise, he is the founder of, or co-founder of Cyber Soldiers, which is the very rapidly advancing training startup in the cyber security domain. And let me tell you, their pace, the pace at which they are progressing, I won't be surprised if it becomes a unicorn in the cybersecurity domain. All the best, Saurabh. And we are really looking forward to this session. And thank you for accepting the offer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. So, Saurabh, I will not go into the details of, tell me about yourself. I think बहुत देर हो जाएगी तुम्हारा introduction बहुत लंबा चौड़ा हो जाएगा because there is so much to talk about.
Let's come to the meat part, sir.
I'll come straight to the topic today's topic, right? Okay, एक question तो बनता है, and वो question ये है कि you are a postgraduate from IIT Madras, you are a signals officer, you have done BTech, MTech, and then your Aman app was also your brainchild. So you could have actually gone into a job in the corporate sector, and but you chose the other path. So what was the driving force behind it? What was the idea?
Sir, actually, it is all about what you get kick in, sir. And it would have been a much easier path, not only going to the corporate, but also the existing family businesses which are still running and being managed. Aim was to do something with what you like. And I feel I am a person who is more into Ikigai. I don't know how many people knows Ikigai. Ikigai is circles and some subsets, and basically what you enjoy, you should do. So if you love what you do, then you enjoy, and then it's not a work for you. And entrepreneurship is, I feel, it's a lifestyle. It's not about a work or something. It's a lifestyle. And that reminds me the saying of our late Honorable President Abdul Kalam ji, that dreams are not what comes while sleeping. Dreams are those which don't let you sleep. So that's what I follow, sir.
Great. So I actually got up. मेरे पीछे go crack पे Ikigai होती थी generally, but I found that it is missing. Somebody has taken it. Yeah. Okay. So that was very brave of you actually, because all said and done, when the corporate job is on the platter, at that time, choosing to go the entrepreneur way requires a lot of courage. And hats off to you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
we will of course come to your journey also and what are the challenges you faced. But before that, why so much of noise about cybersecurity suddenly? And suddenly, the demand is more and the supply is less. And that is precisely the reason why we are conducting the talk today. So, what is the opportunity size?
Uh, I'll come to the figures, sir. But let me give you the background. What has happened in last 25 years? All of us in 1990s saw the software started coming in. People started using it, started appreciating it. But the people who were making softwares, networks, were aware that it is one of the threats or one of the vulnerability which will become threat and will be exploited. But that was still among the people who are deep into technology and working towards it. And 2005 onwards, people in academia started talking about it. But serious cybersecurity threat, or it became a issue when the social media platform came. Because now the social media platforms were hitting the private data of the people. So lot of regulations came, lot of laws came, and that's how it started taking a shape of a serious matter. So if you see, any security, sir, is not a productive thing. Security is always a non-tangible loss for a business. If you see, till that time, it becomes a matter for business loss for them, or humiliation, or a bad name in the community for them. And if that is topped up with regulations and laws which give you financial losses and penalty, then you start working towards it. Like when in army also, when the audits reach their units of units, people started getting conscious of it. So now there are laws, there are regulations in place for which all companies have to comply with. Otherwise, the penalties which are there are very heavy, and the losses will not be only in terms of money. A lot of names and lose of clients will happen. So it's a very serious matter which has become in the industry, and which I will say that figures will prove. So there's a report, I think 2-3 days before only, from Statistica, which is a neutral body of bringing out the report. They brought out a report on cybersecurity. So I just jotted it down. The requirement of cybersecurity professional in 2013 was about 1 million, which rose to 3.5 million in 2021. Out of which in 2021, the unfilled vacancies were 1.7 million. That is to say, you can about half, 50% of the vacancies were unfilled. And the job opportunities which are going to come by 2025 is 6.5 million. Because after COVID, what has happened, a lot of things have become IT driven. Like we never thought of doing webinars, and a lot many things have changed after COVID. People have got used to it. Now, on top of it, India and China are the most supply demand deficit as far as the cyber security skills are concerned. If you see China, the deficit is about 1.5 million, and India as of now is deficit of 0.5 million, which is going to raise to 2.5 million by 2025. And the reason behind is that all the IT setup is now moving to India. People are moving to India. Recently, there's an Amazon data center which has come up in Hyderabad. So what industries and the businesses are feeling, if my consumers are sitting here, if the skill sets in terms of future, if they see in India that the working class will increase. So that's how I'll say cybersecurity has become a great potential. There is a layoffs that are happening in software industry, but they are in cybersecurity, they are not able to find people who are skilled. So what I see next 10 to 15 years, because everything that will come as a technology, be it IoT, even if it is a car which is coming with a new technology, will require to have a cybersecurity as a layer. So this is going to multiply many, many folds, sir, in future also.
Yeah, yes, Saurabh. I think if I may add, also in the last 2 years, the amount of data which we have generated is more than the data which has been generated in the last 100 years.
Exactly.
And our abilities to interpret the data has also increased manifold. So data is the new oil or the new gold, and it is susceptible to threats, thefts, and hence I think वो जो पहले जिस डेटा को हम we never cared about it. Now that data everybody is looking after. Everybody wants the numbers. Everybody wants the email IDs. Everybody wants, I mean, telephone numbers. Whatever you say, with any kind of data. आपकी रीडिंग हैबिट्स क्या है, आपकी आप मेडिकल हिस्ट्री क्या है, सब तरह का डेटा एवरीबॉडी इज बाइंग फॉर इट, एंड हेंस दिस आई थिंक और भी ज्यादा अब वो हो गया है. And I think one individual itself is generating so much of data with just one small mobile in his hand. Right. So, but that was impressive. Key, you said by 2025, the opportunity size is going to be 6.5 million, right?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. So, I mean, if that be so, see, typically what, and me included, where the example which I am going to cite, and in spite of being a signal officer, there was always a divide. Maybe because people never wanted to share the knowledge. The cybersecurity professionals, they used to be a little different. Okay, and since at that time YouTube ये सब और इतनी सारी opportunities नहीं थी learning की, तो they became specialized, and जो एक conception थी, whether concept एक idea था, misconception थी in everybody's mind that cybersecurity is very technical. Okay, and you got to be a nerd to learn it. Now, how true is that? Is it too technical, or are there fields within cybersecurity or the skills within cybersecurity which can be acquired by not so technical or non-technical people?
Sir, I think I will not waste time going left and around. The target audience are either SS officers, that is 14 years of service, or people who are leaving after 22 years or onwards.
Right.
So when we say technical field, cyber security per se is at much below level, where the codings are required, packets are to be read, and all those things are to be like. It is like we evolve in army. When we are a lieutenant, we do a lot of things, but as we keep growing up, we don't do those things, but we monitor those things at that level where we are. So if I'm targeting right for SS officers, and the officers who are leaving are not required to go into technicalities. It is secure. Even if you leave secure cyber part of it, security is all about asking questions, right questions, and cross-checking and evolving things. It's more of a managerial issue rather than a technical issue to the target audience which I'm addressing. I take an example of a SS officer. So I take the example from a subset who suppose is coming from an infantry. So if I'm able to address that, I'm sure the space in between addressed itself. Okay, so leave the security part of it, a cyber part of it, just understand security. And let me tell you, an officer of any arms of service has done JC, be it SS officer or anybody, and have done in academies and understood what is defense and what is attack. And the way security we understand, being in army, we have been interacting with outside people, they don't understand security in that manner. I give you a light example. You are a platoon commander of infantry. The first thing you tell your guard outside, anybody who is coming out, a log has to be maintained, right? Similarly, if you see cyber security, anybody coming to the network, a log has to be maintained, and with the IP address should be there. So you don't have to, at this service, go and ensure that this is happening. You have to know that this should happen. So what is driving your questions is security, not cyber security, first of all. So all those logical thought process that is ingrained in your mind as a Fauji, which you have lived for 14 years or 20 years and trained in JCs and YOs, is exactly to be applied in that logical fashion. Only thing is the wordings will change. So it's at your level, it will be more of a managerial level. And as we proceed ahead, I should be able to tell you exactly what should be your career line and ahead. So what baseline I want to bring in is that it is not, don't take it, it is a techo field. There are already 10, 12 officers who are doing courses with us, out of which I'll not name, out of which two officers are infantry officers who are working in a corporate, has joined the physical security domain of that corporate, has now and come back doing CISSP with us. You know why? Because the corporate, if you have to grow in corporate also in security, the physical security is taking a back seat now. As sir brought out, data is the new oil. If data is the new oil, that is the most vulnerable thing with you now. So if that be the most vulnerable thing, the focus of the corporate is towards information security. And even if you are, if you're taking care of physical security and you don't have a skill set of information security, you will find very soon you will find your stagnation point.
Absolutely, Saurabh. Gentlemen, we are just getting warmed up, and मेरे को बहुत सारी good vibes आ रही हैं, because अभी recently सौरभ मैंने एक value talk conduct किया था on cyber security only, and I actually harped upon this point only, that the lines between cyber security and physical security are blurring now, and corporates are looking at a security officer. They are not looking at physical security officer and a cyber security officer. They are looking at a security head who can handle both the things. And you don't, and I also spoke about the same thing, that you don't have to be very technical. You have to understand. And मेरे ख्याल से जिस तरीके से हम इन आर्म फोर्सेस सिक्योरिटी को समझते हैं, you have to identify, Varun, we will do all these things. So the way we understand security, we identify the threat, assess the threat, then we protect the threat, and then we detect if there is any intrusion. If there is an intrusion, we respond to it, and then we recover. So that is all. That is how the cyber security is also there.
Sir, if somebody is going through the course, they will understand exactly these headings. They will be taught cyber security.
Exactly. So, gentlemen, before we move ahead, point to be taken is that you don't have to be a nerd. You already know security. Maybe some more terms you will learn, some more methodologies you will learn, but you are inherently suited for this domain. So go with that conviction. Okay. So we'll move ahead. So actually, my next question was this only, that I'm the armed forces officer, which you have already answered, that aren't we inherently suitable for this profession, cyber security and security? But then we have already covered this. Then why
I would like to add on to this, sir.
Yeah.
Believe me, we are made for this. So I'm telling you, leave the cyber is just one thing which you will understand in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. It is the mindset what matters. If you're trained well in security, if your thought process is of security, cyber is just one domain with some terminology, and you don't have to get into technicalities of it. That is what I want to overall bring it out.
Right. And I will comment on this a little later. Now, tell me then, why are people hesitant, especially, in fact, not only armed forces, even otherwise, people are hesitant in taking up this domain. There is a hesitation. Cybersecurity, as if it is something very, difficult.
Sir, I will like to contradict, sir. Now we have been interacting with people outside also,
right?
Not only from India and from outside. You will not believe CAs are doing courses, IT courses now, because
Wow.
CAs, there's a CISA course running in which 8 CAs are doing that course. The chief instructor trainer of CISA course is a CA himself. So I'll tell you why they are doing it. So if a person who has lived his life in figures is doing a course, what is behind it? And why is he doing it, and why can't we do it? So he is doing it because it is becoming a compliance issue. It is going to become a compliance issue for the companies. They will require to be audited, like we get our quarterly audits done, annual audits done. They will be required to be getting audited by a certified auditor, which that stamp of a course and examination gives you. And so they see, if I am going for a financial audit to some place, I might as well add this to my kitty and undertake this. So that was point number one, sir, taking a wide stream example of a CA who has nothing to do with IT security or even cyber security. So they are not hesitant to take this. Second thing now the people who are in IT are switching to cyber security because they are understanding IT is a normal thing now, and there is so much of layoffs happening because what a software engineer used to do 20 years back, now the softwares are doing it. So my point is, yes, the whole concept of addressing this target audience that we are discussing, you are hesitating, the word is not hesitating. And why should we hesitate when our mindset is of security? I'm repeating this point again and again. So if word is not hesitating, there are CEOs who are neither IT nor cyber security. They are coming and doing the courses to understand how to handle this menace. It is a managerial thing at your level. That is what I want to come back to.
Saurabh, let me tell you, I am also not hesitating because I have joined this upcoming course, which is going to have Saturday classes using your Mentor 7, that code, discount code. Okay, so I will also be one of your students soon, and I hope that I hope that I do something.
Most welcome, sir. I'm sure once you will go through it, you will understand. Yeah, what is new in this? This though we
Right,
know. It is just
right,
tuning our mind to that.
right. I'm quite prepared, and it's been a. I've been thinking of doing it since very long time, but now I've taken a decision. And though cybersecurity is nowhere in my current scheme of things, but still, I just want to do it. Okay. So, can you give a typical corporate security organization? होता कैसे है corporate में security organization, cyber security organization I'm talking about. On
Okay, okay, sir. So let's understand the top hierarchy first, how it functions. So we have a board of directors on the top, and below the board of directors, there's a CEO, there is a COO, there is a CTO, and there is a CISO, which is chief. So CEO is chief executive officer, CO is the chief operating officer. Then you have a technical chief, then you have a financial chief, CFO, and then now they have started having a CISO also. So all these four people report to CEO. Now this CISO who is there, this is what I was mentioning, cannot be a pure information guy or cannot be a pure physical guy. So the implementation part of the technology and the information is taken care by the CTO, which is a chief technical officer, and
right?
a CISO who has an eye of the security, who is responsible to ensure compliances, who is responsible to audit, who is responsible to do policy making, is a CISO. So under him, that CISO, he will not have a very wide organization spread around the world. They will have probably one control center, and they will have a group of people sitting with them. With this advent of technology and things going to cloud, they will be able to monitor everything from that control center. So there will be a set of people under him who will be handling technologies. It will be the policies and other things will be handled by him. So this
Yeah.
is the
So
broad.
there may be a security operations guy under him, and there may be a compliance and
Exactly.
uh,
So
risk
the
governance. Yeah.
classical verticals that works under that is there'll be one operation center. So there will be officer level below it who will be handling the operation center, under which there'll be complete team who will be doing the penetration testing and vulnerability assessment and threat hunting and all. There'll be a compliance officer, that is in outside word it is called GRC. It's a regular compliance who will be doing it. Under him there'll be auditors who will be auditing, and obviously there'll be people who will be helping the office of CISO in formulation of policy and executing his policies on the ground.
Right. Right. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, before we move ahead, in the Value Talks family, we have a Value Talks Google group also now, and there is a whole lot of useful data which is available for downloading, oblique viewing as per the permission rights which have been given. for members to make use of. This data pertains to jobs and opportunities, the courses which are available on discount, the study abroad opportunities, the business opportunities, the data of the officers who are already there in the corporate sector, etc., etc., etc. So do make use of this data. It's quite useful and it will come handy in your job search as well as in increasing your network and doing, if in case you are interested in doing some courses, we are tying up with many institutions. And Saurabh has also been. Saurabh, what are you offering for our members? Exclusive to Value Talk family, exclusive to Career Coach
Sir,
family.
believe me, sir, its own fraternity. Well, sir has already has a code which we have already given, sir, without asking a question. Ki, sir, you have a code, please spread around, and you can use those. Otherwise, also, whomsoever you are getting in touch with our support desk and everything, just mention your armed forces or army or something, and rest will be taken care of. Just
Right.
don't.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to cybersoldiers.in and see whatever courses. And before that, we will talk about those courses to get to know what is suitable for whom. And then, of course, there is a for only for Value Talk family members, there is a exclusive discount. I think the code you have given is Mentor 7. It is there in the Google group sheets which are shared, so you can use that discount code. Okay. Anyway, so moving ahead, and also please join Value Talk Telegram channel and the YouTube channel. Moving ahead, you see, what are the challenges for the in the hiring and career management, basically?
So the whole purpose of the startup is what we realized. There's a lot of education which has gone systematic. There's a clear career line available. People understand पहले मेरे को ये करना है. Like in army, we know पहले वायुस होगा, फिर JC होगा, फिर SC होगा, फिर S. Whereas if you see cyber security, there is no career line existing. Nobody knows that if I have to go to cyber security career line, what should I do? So if that be the base, hiring is a challenge in a corporate because a person who wants to hire is a CISO department and person who is hiring is a HR department. So in any organization, that flap happens, and it is happening more importantly in cyber security because people are unaware. But yes, slowly they have started taking certifications as one of the QRs. Like what our MS branch does, if you are a staff college, if you are this grading in this course, then they have automated their things that then your resume will automatically, if you have those qualifications, those will start popping up. So once they start popping up, so it becomes eligible for that. And still, let me tell you, HR doesn't know what is CISSP. So, or what is CISA, or what is the person he is hiring for. But yes, this certification in very clear terms, giving them an indicator or a benchmark, I need to hire these guys. I'll give you an example. About 2 weeks back, Odisha government floated a tender. It was about 100 crore plus tender, wherein they are setting up a Odisha cyber security operational cell. That tender is very clearly mentioning that I want so many CISSP qualified, I want so many CISA qualified, because otherwise, how will you benchmark? These are the industry standard examinations, and every organization follows this. And Army also, otherwise, a big organization cannot handle or filter or find right type of person for a right job unless they have this qualitative filtering and based on any qualification. So this was a challenge, sir, which now for organization is getting settled down following the certification method. But yes, as a community, the professionals, they are still finding confused that what am I supposed to do? So if we have trained around 200 plus learners till now in our portal in last 2 months, and believe me, sir, more than 50% were clueless. So there were people who were talking to them for 45 minutes. Okay, what's your skill set? How do you want to go about it? What is... So I will say it'll take time, but this is what is required to happen, and we are focusing on that, sir.
Great. I also think that another challenge for the industry is basically there is a huge shortage of trained manpower. And of course, as you said, HR is not aware कि वो जिसको हायर करना है वो कैसा होना चाहिए. तो थोड़ा सा हायरिंग में वो भी जॉब स्पेसिफिकेशंस आर नॉट वेरी क्लियर and the learning curve is very very steep as that is how it is perceived. But similarly there are challenges of veterans also na. Veterans में भी कहाँ awareness है.
So that's why we are doing this webinar, sir. The awareness is one thing which has to be ongoing.
Absolutely. And the great point is, I think, कि there are many start points. किसी के लिए CISSP हो सकता है, किसी के लिए CISO हो सकता है, किसी के लिए CRISC हो सकता है. I mean, depending upon the aptitude and the aspirations of a person, there are many start points जहाँ से वो start कर सकते हैं. And especially if somebody is wanting to be in, even if they are wanting to be in physical security, they should actually have one of these certifications with them, right? So as far as okay, so there are tech officers, there are technical officers from technical arms, there are non-technical officers from technical arms, and there are technical officers from non-technical arms, and there are non-technical officers from non-technical arms.
Exactly, sir. Rightly brought out, sir.
Right. So I will not say technical arm or non-technical arm. I'll say person who is technically very sound and a person who's a non-technical and who considers himself to be a GD, though I hate this word. ठीक है, जो कि समझता है कि मैं तो GD हूँ, I don't know any of these things, I don't know technology. For him, especially for this category, which doesn't have conviction in their own capabilities or this thing, who don't know whether they have the aptitude or not, what is the kind of roadmap in cyber security, and how does one, you will have to cover the certifications also, I think, in this.
Okay, so I will not start from the youngsters days. Like I will take it, the people we are targeting or people who are there are 14 years plus of working experience.
Yeah, maybe 10 years plus, you can say.
Yeah. So it hardly matters 10 or 14, sir. So the moment we say 10 and 14, actually the technicality has gone much beyond it. There are younger people to handle the technology side. It is more to play a leadership role and to actually ensuring things as per the policy happening or not. And nobody is expecting you to code. So the biggest fear that somebody comes in mind that will I be required to do coding? So I am trying to break technology part also now. So if you think you're required to code, you're not required to code. Are you required to sniff a packet? No, you're not required to sniff a packet. Are you supposed to program a network, run a network? No, you're not supposed to run a program or run a network. So what are you supposed to do? So now I will not align it with the job roles that come, but I will align with the certification which are suitable for army personals, which I know if these things are not aligning, then what does align with? So first thing is if there is a person who's 10 or 14 years of service, he should not go for the top level course. He should go for few more functional level course, which are not hands-on, but more of managerial and a process-oriented thing.
Saurabh, just to intervene in between, sorry. You are right now covering 10, 14. I hope you will be covering 20 also.
Yes, sir. I'll be targeting, sir.
Right. Okay. Right.
So these are the two slots in my mind, so I will cover, sir. So anybody falling between 14 to 20 can gauge where they are. In any specific question, we can take on later.
Right.
So 10 to 14, you should not aim for to become the top in info security or something. In any case, if you're leaving from army, you should try and go one level down so that you learn, and with your experience, you will definitely go up. The moment you go try to achieve much in your first hop, you will fail because everything is changing. So suppose I'm a colonel retired and I expect I have a 20 years of experience, I should go and become a CISO. Let me tell you, I'm exposing myself there, where I'll fail. So it is better to go one level down, work for a year or two. In any case, with your capabilities, you will become. But then when you reach that position, it is something like somebody makes you a CO in 12 years of service. So you'll get exposed. So
Very
now,
good point.
so you should try and go one level down. Don't aim much high. First is to gather a certification which suits you. So for 10 to 14, anybody who's trying to come to info security should first go for a CISA course, which is Chief Information Security Auditor course. This course is a theoretical course which explains you the complete process of information security and also enables you to carry out audits. Like you all have seen, must have seen in the unit somebody coming and auditing, right? So similar what we have done in Forge is happening outside also, which is a beginning now. Whereas in Forge we have set up the standard much before them. So you should focus for CISA, and once you focus on CISA, you do CISA, be on that role, and then probably after an experience of 2 or 3 years, you may like to take on either CISM if you are from a non BTech MTech, and if you are a BTech MTech stream, then probably you would like to go for a CISSP, which enables you to become a CISO in an organization. So all these three courses which I have told you, the CISA, the CISM, the CISSP, and there's also CIRISC in between, are all managerial course, no hands-on thing required, no coding required. Exams are MCQ based, and I would like to cite an example of a question that also comes in an examination. I think so that will make them clear. So like we do a question in a JC, right? If this happens, what will you do? So a question comes like this: there has been a malfunction in a hard drive of a PC. What will you do? Point number one, you will take it out and send it to the vendor. Point number two, I will see the policy. I'll ignore and send it. Point number three, I will see the policy and follow the procedure. Fourth is that I will carry out a sanitization process before doing anything. Like what we have in Army, that when we send our computers for repair, we are supposed to take out the hard disk. Now, is there any technicality in it? No, there is no technicality. It's a process which you're supposed to know, and you have to ensure that it is happening on the ground. So these are the types of questions which are there in these exams. And these exams gives you a stamp to proceed ahead and enter into InfoSec domain. So this was 10 to 14. Now coming to SIR's question of 20 years and plus. So the answer of that question is also in same. Only thing is I'll take out CISA. What I will tell, after 20 years of service, if you are from any other arm, which is you're not a BTech or MTech, do CISM first. That is Certified Information Security Manager. And if you are from technical arm, or you think you can handle it, even CISSP is not very technical, but it is the gold standard. So you go for CISSP. No, nothing for 20 years. We have a security mindset. We 10 years, 14 years, or 20. We have done JC. We have gone through phases. We know the security. And as sir brought out, it is same. We are doing a risk management. You are doing a risk evaluation. I'm going ulta. Risk evaluation. If there is a risk, then you find out what is the risk and you try to fix it. This is exactly what you are trying to do. And there are people to help you in technology fixing on the ground for that. So it is a process that you need to know. And it's a very logical process of normal person who knows security. I think, sir, I've answered. Any more thing to be?
Yeah, I think you have, and of course, other doubts will be clarified during the question answer session also. And plus the combination of these certifications, along with if somebody is a core security personnel, CPP also is a very good combination. I mean, if somebody is going for a head of security in some big organization, and
Exactly.
if he has CPP and CISM or this thing, it is lethal combination.
So
And
I mentioned in the beginning only 2 infantry officers who were already in physical domain are now doing CISSP.
yeah, exactly. So Saurabh, your cyber security, cybersoldiers.in जो है, cyber soldiers जो है, वो basically in certifications की तैयारी करवाते हैं, right?
Yes, sir.
What are the certifications available? One is, of course, you said CISSP is the gold standard. Other is CISM.
Sir, for the target audience, again, I'm talking that We have CISA, which is Certified Information Security Auditor. We have CRISC, which is into more of risk in our information system. Then we have CISM, which is for getting into top managerial level. It is Certified Information Security Manager. And then is CISSP, which is Certified Information System Security Professional. Getting more specific is then CCSP, especially handling the cloud security. And we'll have a lot of
So,
now.
so my question is, right, CISSP is maybe the gold standard, and of course, it's a very longish exam also, and too many domains also in that. So, if somebody wants to, now I'm coming to shortcuts. ठीक है, एक तो हो गया कि आपने CISSP कर लिया या CISM कर लिया. But many of these people who are there in the audience today, many of them may be having, still may be having doubt that we may not be able to, do it or something. तो अगर ऐसा है, तो say for an infantry officer who considers himself to be a total GD, ठीक है, though infantry officer is the most specialized officer, I always say, but
Sir, in Sode, the second topper was infantry officer, JAT officer.
so I am saying, in any case, they are a specialized this thing.
Yes.
So if an infantry officer or an artillery officer, he considers कि नहीं मैं तो बिल्कुल GD हूँ, and he does CPP, okay, and he just wants to test waters कि भाई एक चीज और भी आ जाए साइबर से रिलेटेड, तो अगर वो CISM या CISSP नहीं करना चाहता है, तो is there any shortcut to it?
So shortcut, so you have to
Easier
work hard.
path,
Well, there is no
easier path, maybe CRISC or I don't know.
CISA will be a better option, sir. And
CISA.
I'll tell you one more thing. And because of this, that these are all theoretical exams, we have also launched one course, sir, which is not a certification based, but it is a practical skill based course. We have named it as Practical Approach to IS, Information Security, and GRC, that is regulations, in which if somebody has doubt how things are done and how technical it is, then attend that, and that will give you a clear, fair amount of idea that it is not so technical. And probably after testing there, you can come to have, because exams will be conducted for these exam certifications, and you have to work hard. I will not leave you with wrong notions or something. There is no shortcut in working hard for the exams and appearing for it. And the cost of the examination appearing is quite high. For CISSP, it takes you around 70,000-80,000, and for CISA, it takes you around 40,000-50,000. So there's no shortcut. You have to prepare, because if a certificate which is industry standard and people are taken it as one of the standard, कि इसके बाद मेरे को उससे कुछ नहीं पूछना, I take it is qualified. So you have to grant it that certification training, and as well as the exam are authentic.
So Saurabh, somebody has asked that question, which was my next question. Is, a lot of officers have this doubt that मैंने तो कभी cyber security handle ही नहीं करी या कुछ है. How will their experience for eligibility? How will their experience map so that they are eligible to appear for these certifications?
So you're talking about examination, right, sir?
Examination. I'm talking about certification examination.
So I'm telling you, sir, from beginning, I'm telling you, leave the cyber, focus the security. We are tuned that way. What you will go through in a training and exam, it is only the terminology changing, and the basics remain same of security. So what
Saurabh,
difficulty level, what I feel for outside guy, I'm telling you very frankly, sir, after going all these rut, a person in a civis handling cyber security or IT, and a person who is in army not handling IT and cyber security, the person outside difficulty level is 2x, because a person who understands security better will be able to handle cyber security
absolutely.
also better.
Absolutely, I fully agree. So when people join your preparatory course, do you also help them in how to fill the form or something, in case there is a doubt in somebody's mind? Because lot many times we don't know कि हमने तो ये cyber security को at a managerial level already handle किया हुआ है, maybe at the unit level or at formation level.
Sir, matlab, I think it will be we who will be getting after you to pass the exam. Leave about filling up the examination, registration and everything. That is part of the process. You in any case will be taught. And we have done webinars on all these courses, which videos are available on YouTube and our website also, wherein what I am talking to you, you will still feel it's at the top level thing. I'm talking in more of qualitative and philosophical thing. Please
Right.
go, those 1 hour video are specifically focusing that particular certification, wherein each
So,
domain,
so you
visit
want,
www.cybersoldiers.in, go there and
yeah,
you
I only
can.
go. Okay, तो वहाँ पे those on that side YouTube videos are available.
So there are seminars which we have done are available there, sir. All the sessions are there. Have a look.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find